everyone. So I have made some videos in the past talking about some of the houses having an excess of Latin American heartbeats in very small homes, and I didn't realize how bad the neighborhood was. But it's like one of the houses has, at last count, 21 people living in a house that's less than 1,000 square feet. There's another house that has started to build second and third, secondary structures out of pallets and tarps and everything else to house more people outside in the backyard. And I just talked with a neighbor, and who is not Latin American, and they have 6 people living in a 2-bedroom house. So, and there's one other that, she was talking about moving to her garage and renting out her house so she can afford things. And I'm just kind of stepping back for a second and kind of like, I don't agree with Biden's policies. I don't agree with half the shit he says. I think he's a senile old man. I will be voting for Trump. But all that being said, I just want to know, how is it that Biden, who, has primarily been working in the government field, the Clintons, which have been public servants, for most of their life, and you got all these, you have, Obama, and you have all these people, as well as, Republicans as well. But how is it that they have these government jobs and end up with hundreds of millions of dollars, that just kind of mysteriously appear on charity organizations and, I guess maybe book deals is how, but again, how does someone get hundreds of millions of dollars doing this, and yet we have people in the real world, not the government bubble, that is having to, stack bodies on top of each other just to afford rent or afford their mortgage. And it's I'm not saying there should be a revolt or, an uprising, but I can definitely understand if one was to happen. You have to remember, we basically annexed an entire country over, I think, a 5% or 10% tax on tea. We went to war over a little tax hike, and I'm not condoning, I don't want to, but I'm just telling you historical facts. We went to war over a tax hike on a drinking beverage and succeeded from an entire country and started a whole new country. And of course there's a lot more behind the scenes, but that was kind of the precipice. That was the cliff that we decided to jump off of. And now we have government officials being some of the best, pickers of stock, and coming away with, not just millions, but hundreds of millions of dollars, and some of the best financial guru, predicting the future picks on stocks, and you have, people who say, oh, you shouldn't have money living in 7 and 8 homes, and, it just, I'm trying to figure out, who else doesn't see this? Who else is like, oh, well, that's just the way things are? It's not supposed to be that way. We're not supposed to be, making life decisions at a gas pump or at a cash, at a grocery store cashier spot. We shouldn't be, contemplating okay, are we going to eat today or are we going to get medicine? That's not how we're supposed to live. And speaking of living, we're not supposed to be living in cities to where you have, zombie, homeless, druggy pieces of crap just peppering our streets. This doesn't happen in other countries. Well, it does happen in some, but you know, there's countries that clean up their streets. You know, what they do with the bodies, I don't know, but that's not my concern. I would love to go and walk down the street and not have, you know, or go to any location in Jacksonville and not be asked to give them money or help them out or, you know, support their habit. Especially at a time when we're struggling to, you know, to get food on our own table. The reason this come up, I have to go grocery shopping today, and I really, it's like how much of the money I made yesterday is going to go toward a grocery bill. So, but does anybody else, you know, see on how corrupt our government is, both left and right? You know, but it does seem that I don't see too many Republicans that are going into office for their entire life and coming out, you know, damn near a billionaire. You know, maybe I'm missing something, but I guess I'm trying to think who, you know, and I'm not talking about people who go in with businesses and that, you know, there's a lot of very rich Republicans that are in office, but they made their money before they went in. You know, so I'm talking about the ones who have spent their entire life as a government employee and somehow, you know, now are worth hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, maybe there's different pay scales, but last time I checked, you know, nobody's making that kind of money. And again, I do want to, you know, there's a lot of people who happen to write laws that also pick, you know, with a very high degree of accuracy, certain stocks that make them a lot of money. You know, I mean, I wish I could do that, but I'd probably get arrested for insider trading, even though I know nothing about these companies. But if all of a sudden I started, you know, doing insanely well in the stock market, I'm sure the FCC would be knocking on my door saying, what exactly are you doing? Or is it Federal Trade Commission or not FCC? Anyways, whatever alphabet soup wants to, you know, or well, does that stuff. In fact, I found something better in stocks anyways, but it's more labor intensive. But anyways, I'm here at the doctor's office yet again and gotta go do more crap. So, but anyways, that's kind of my thought process this morning before going and setting my backyard on fire, which it rained again last night and everything's so wet. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to burn it, but I'm gonna try anyways. So anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. If you're bored or if you're just sitting around and just contemplating, I want you to think about, how does someone who makes, you know, let's say $150,000 a year as a government employee end up with hundreds of millions of dollars? I'm pretty sure book deals are lucrative, but I don't think they're that damn lucrative. So anyway, tell me your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Peace, love, money. I'm out.